Good morning. I was awake until about 6:30 this morning, scrolling through reels, watching videos about uninvited guests who have come into this country for the last few years, and many of whom are now being found to be involved with some of our politicians around the planet, around the United States. Or I'm trying to find some gentle way to put this, but there is no gentle way to put this. This is actually a war on American soil that was perpetrated by, I don't know who. I know a lot of what I've seen on the internet, and there are clusters of people who are stealing our financial and natural resources. And when I say stealing, I mean falsifying requests for government money, our money, and being supported by politicians in certain areas around the country, some of whom have sworn nationality allegiance to more than one country, which means that they somehow or another, if somebody has sworn allegiance to our country, gotten in charge of running our nation, and they've sworn allegiance to another country that is, let's say, questionable allegiance to our principles of living and caring for one another. And there are other people who are just reportedly taking our resources in excess, who were born on this continent, in this country, and fraudulently taking and spending what we work hard to try to prepare for our own eventual demise and leave for our children. I don't have any children, not that I didn't want any, but that's not the point. They're my resources, your resources. And these people take our resources and are using them to abuse us in ways that, if you're paying any attention at all, you already know how that's taking place. If you're not paying attention, I don't want to make you wrong for living and enjoying your life and not paying attention, but you might consider doing that, because this is how things like World War I, World War II, Genghis Khan, on and on and on. You just don't know what's behind the truth of all of these things, because the criminals don't come out and say, I'm the criminal that caused this. But we can see the effects taking place, one of which I've been showing pictures of contrails, and I am beginning to believe that the people who are speaking negatively to me, let's say abusively negative, there are other people who really want to believe that everything is safe and pure and clean, but what I'm seeing and what I'm being presented with is more than just hearsay that tells me that we're being sprayed with dangerous chemicals, aluminum, strontium, barium, I don't know what all's in this crap, but I've watched the planes fly by and make things that are not contrails, condensate off of airplane engines. These are endless chemical trails blazed across the sky that other people are doing researches and showing the reports that are saying that over 6,000 times of the dangerous level of presentation of these chemicals is showing up in their grass, in their children's hair, on the trees, plant life dying. People are getting cancer. Birds you find dying off in unusual places, just dead on the ground. I wrote a letter to President Trump last night because it's the only thing I know how to do. If I knew how to find one of these airplanes and disable the thing, I wouldn't want to do anything that would harm the ignorant humans. It's not my job to go out and harm people who don't know any better, and if they're evil, they need to be arrested and held to accountability in what in our country is considered the legal manner. However, we are truly on a planetary world war in hidden manner, and I don't like it that I feel like I have to get on the public media and tell people about this, because for me it's hard to confront. I like to be liked just like everybody else, and I don't like to be snarked at or disliked. But really, if you feel inclined to snark at me for sounding the alarm, well, fuck you, okay? And if you feel inclined to stick your head in the sand, well, God bless you. I hope it all turns out good for both of us. And for anybody else, I don't know what you think you can do, but if you can do it, step up and do it. There are people dying of diseases. There are animals dying of diseases. Our dogs are getting sick. The plants are not growing well. I've had a tough time growing gardens over the last couple of years. Reports are coming out that people who are capable of investigating and trained to do so are coming up with actual, measured, documented evidence that this kind of stuff is taking place. And what we're worried about is if somebody's going to send oil through a gulf someplace. Right now, I think that there are much more pressing matters that need to be handled on a public basis. We have a Second Amendment Constitution that allows us to form a militia and go after criminals and present them to our sheriff's department. And our sheriffs are supposed to be elected officials who have been sworn to uphold the Constitution of the United States and understand that there's more than one Constitution been presented to us over the last a couple hundred years. We have the original 1776 Constitution, which is what this nation was founded on. And not long afterwards, I'm going to make up a number, 1847 or something, along comes, we needed to pay our debts because of this war that gave us our independence. We, meaning our founding fathers, hired Great Britain to come in and take care of us, who we were fighting to get out of this country. When this country was formed, it was a really close division between the people who wanted us to have a free nation and those who didn't. Study your history and find out. But we are now being run by corporations, except for Trump. I would like to believe, and I do think, that President Trump has our backs and he's trying to clean this up. And there are other people who are fighting and putting their lives at risk behind the scenes to do the same. Get our country back into the original Constitution for the United States of America, as opposed to three different changes to that wording that I've been made aware of that are corporate written, that do not support our freedom and do not support our, I know the word for this, Bill of Human Rights. We need to get back to this. Start paying attention. Study. Pick up the books. There's an organization called states.americanstatenationals.org. Do some reading there. You'll be amazed at the kind of things that are documented, and you will be educated on where we are in the running of this nation. We really are in a world war that is evil people against those who are trying to deliver freedom back to humanity before we have another mass like the diseases that have been being spread around. I don't know. I think I've said plenty. Step up, do something. If you have snarkers, understand that they are either afraid to search and research and find out the truth, because that's what I've been doing, or they are the criminals who are lying to us and trying to deliver ownership of the planet to what I've been coming to understand are being called oligarchs. Okay, so there's enough for now. Maybe my next video, I hope many of my next videos will be a lot more airy-fairy than this. But, you know, we've got to step up. If you don't like me for saying this, well, you know, sorry, not sorry. But step up and do something, anything. A mass of people stepping up and doing something, anything, is better than laying around and being poisoned and robbed and dying planet-wide. And the strongest nation in the world, us, doing nothing. Any nation in the world doing nothing. Any individual in the world doing nothing. Get online and say something. Tell people what you know. Tell people what you know, because the doubters will want proof. And I don't even suggest you do proof. I say prove it to yourself and be comfortable with your proof and do something. Whatever tiniest thing you can do to step up and be a citizen of this planet, caring for all living things. Have a nice day.